We are wrestling.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent. Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie, might teach you a thing or two.
What is going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? Ben here, one half of the We Are Wrestling Podcast.
If you ain't listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast, bro, you're missing out. The king listens, and you need to too, bro.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of We Are Wrestling Universe? It is I, Ben, Uncle Ben, America's favorite uncle, wrestling punching bag, and rage fucking circus. How you guys doing today? We got a really great show planned out for you. Some of the topics are fire, some of the topics that we're even dreading getting into. But before we get into all that happy dabby mumbo jumbo, Don, take it away, buddy.
That's right. We have a pretty decent episode. Usually, any time before PLE, it's very lackluster because a lot of the stuff, like during the recaps, we talk about during our predictions, which, if you guys haven't checked out the WWE Clash at the Castle predictions, it is up over on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. But before we get into all the good stuff for this week's episode, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're listening to this week's episode of the podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content, including live WWE Clash at the Castle watch along, which will be happening Saturday, tomorrow, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real. So Ben, I gotta ask you, man, how's your week been before we get into all this?
Interesting. I feel like life recently in the YouTube verse and the opportunities it presents itself, it's been very interesting. It's been very very rewarding. Like Donnie here said that we're getting the episode Friday. We're recording on a Thursday right now. There's a lot of cool shit coming out on Friday, including for anybody that is right here in We Are Wrestling that watches reactions. If you know Riker Road, your boy Rage Circus was also on the show with the boys. So Friday at 5 p.m. that'll be dropping. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free to go ahead. There's a lot of smokes, jokes, and a lot of laughs. So it's a really good time. So my week has been very interesting, I guess. How's your week been, bud?
Very relaxing. I have just been definitely enjoying the weather right now. Been just sitting by the new fire pit.
Touching grass.
And I also have done some cleaning in the studio, which has been long overdue. I've just really lost a lot of motivation the last couple weeks with Best One Donnie content, and I just did a 360 around the studio, and I said, that's why. My studio is a fucking mess. And I got the Swiffer, and I did some cleaning. I got the broom, and man, I just feel like a new man ever since cleaning the studio.
Hey man, Blitzkrieg Sweeper would be very proud of you, man. Blitzkrieg Sweeper would be so proud of you.
That's right. Sweep them up, sweeper. Sweep them up. Speaking of Blitzkrieg Pro, we do want to remind all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, if you have nothing going on Saturday, June 29th, Enfield, Connecticut, the Pierogi Hall, Blitzkrieg Pro Luau will be happening. One of the biggest shows that Blitzkrieg puts together every year in the summertime. Unfortunately, I won't be there. And if you're not in the Western Mass area and you're not going to be able to make it because you maybe are going to the beach or doing something, you can check it out live on IWTV. I'm sorry, Meadow. I will be watching some Blitzkrieg Pro Saturday night on our hotel TV. I am not sorry, actually.
Yeah, you got to see a lot
Yeet.
of shit going on, man. We got Paul London there. Oh my God. We got Paul London going, which is nuts, bro. I'm so fucking hyped.
Dude,
I'm
so excited, dude. Paul London versus Bobby Orlando is going to be such a banger match.
Because they're both killer. So I'm fucking, dude, like, I'm going to... I'm gonna have to fucking turn my back on Bobby Orlando for the first time because I can't not rep my boy. I can't not rep, London. I can't. So I'm turning my back and turning the other way on Bobby Orlando. I'm gonna have to turn on him.
Also, I do have some breaking news as well. If you are a We Are Wrestling listener and you're gonna be at the Blitzkrieg show in Enfield, you have the biggest opportunity of your lifetime. I'm so mad I'm going to miss out on this because our boy, Cam the Ham, Creepy Cam, is going to be having a... That's the nickname Phil gave him.
No. God, sounds right. That sounds right.
Okay, wait. Give me a second. All right. So... I'm mad I'm missing out on this opportunity because Cam will be having his own table. He'll be doing some selling there. So if you guys are trying to get some figures or get whatever wacky bullshit he's trying to sell you, definitely recommend going over to his table. Maybe he'll have an 8x10. Who the hell knows? But yeah, Cam's going to be having a table. I'm so mad I'm missing this opportunity for him.
Give him, if you're going to give him... If you're going to give him 8x10s to sell, like, you should probably give him the one where he's jumping up on someone because he's, like, hella caked in that fucking picture. So if you want him to sign
with the even Stevens
and Duncan on the other cheek.
All I got to say is the even Stevens, it's time to give them a tag title shot. But I also do want to let you guys know, because Blitzkrieg Pro is happening during that weekend, AEW will be having a pay-per-view going on, Forbidden Door, and unfortunately, there will be no watch-along on the We Are Wrestling channel for that. I'm going to be away. Ben, he doesn't really watch AEW or New Japan, and Ricky does not have a setup, and hopefully he gets a setup by the end of the year. We're hoping for that. So in case I'm not around or Ben's not around, Ricky can take over, and Ricky knows best. But, yeah, this week has been very nice. It's been pretty refreshing. Feels good. Feel good.
I'm so glad. I love that for you, man. I'm glad that you've given yourself some time to go outside, touch some grass, smell the fresh fucking air, and just enjoy the simple things that doesn't involve a screen. Like, you get to enjoy a fire every night whenever the fuck you want. Do you understand how jealous I am? Like, the most I can have is a fucking charcoal grill on my goddamn balcony. That's it.
I don't know. I think this summer we might have to bring back some hot takes by the fire, maybe. Who the hell knows?
We should get 2 tiki torches and make it look like a tribal council at fucking Survivor rather.
Ooh,
and just fucking put tiki torches around us and shit. Yeah, dude, let's do it. And then we'll end the episode with us snuffing out our torches.
Yes, Roman Reigns snuffing our torches because he's the tribal chief. Well, right now, Solo
big ass nostrils. With his big ass.
So
nostrils.
Ben,
what up?
Before we get into our highlight of the week, we've been doing this new thing, which I really have to thank all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs who are subscribed to the YouTube channel for really making this a new thing here on the podcast, because I generally enjoy doing this. We have our power of the poll, and every week we give all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs 1 week to vote on a topic from Thursday to next Thursday, because we record the episodes on a Thursday. And last week, we had the poll between which Hulk Hogan was better. We had Real American Hogan or Hollywood Hogan, which was a very close one. And this week's power of the poll, we asked you guys, which weapon in the TLC match is your favorite? And for the first time, there was not 1, not 2, but 3 options to choose from. Obviously, you get to choose from a table, a ladder, or a chair. And here are the results. Drum roll, please. And there it is, the power of the poll.
Ladders.
The Maniacs have spoken. So, tables, 36% of you guys like better than the ladder and the chair. 55% of you guys think the ladder is better. And only 9% of you guys like the chair. So, we do know that 9% of the We Are Wrestling Maniacs are trolls.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a proud dad right now because I was so worried that like they were gonna choose chair. And I was like, dude, like, yeah, there's so many things you can do with the chair, but it's been so done before that I'm like, dude, just pick something else on behalf of just not picking a fucking chair. Just pick something else. But honestly, I'm glad that they went with the ladder because ladders showed how much damage it can do multiple times, considering what happened to Joey Mercury and what happened to fucking Mia Yim on NXT. So like she got her face busted in by a ladder, bro. She was dripping. So yeah, no, I feel like a proud dad right now, and I'm very happy about it. So thank you guys. Thank you to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs.
For me, this was a toss-up because I do love me table spots, but they have been so overdone. And honestly, man, I'm going to have to go with the ladder. I have to agree with the Maniacs, the majority of you, because the ladder, man, just throughout the years, no matter what, it always evolves. It always evolves through the years. And one of my favorite moments on a ladder will always be WrestleMania 21 or 22, I think it was, Shelton Benjamin running up that ladder. And he used
21.
it as like a little catapult.
21. Because the big ladder spot was during for 22 was Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon when he finally did the elbow drop. Because he did it off a 40-foot, which was like one of like the biggest fucking ladders you can in WWE.
Yeah, no, with like the ladder, like what I really liked was like he set the ladder up, tilted it, and then he ran it up and did a clothesline. That was one of the coolest spots ever. That
like solidified just how good Shelton Benjamin really is because like, yeah, he's impressive in the ring. He's tactical as fuck. He's one of the greatest high flyers. He can adapt to basically any style. But what was super impressive about that is you only get one shot to do that in front of a live crowd. You only get that one chance. And the fact that he basically he glided up that fucking ladder. He didn't even run. It was so flawless. It still lives as a huge Mania moment to this day because it has not been done as smoothly again. And I don't even think it's even been done again or try to be replicated because it was just one of those once in a lifetime moments that you had one shot.
Nobody in WWE, at least to my knowledge, has done something
Shelton,
like that.
Above all people, deserved that too. Like he really deserved that moment because I feel like where his attitude could probably use some tweaking. He is one of, if not one of the best to do it in the ring, period. Like that dude is one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. It may have been a gimmick thing, it may have been just a case of him not connecting to the crowd, on a level of a main event star, but he is one of the most underrated fucking wrestlers. And that moment,
man, that might be like my next getting put over. I might have to pick Shelton, but
really
anything can change through time. Because obviously you're putting over my boy MJF, so I might have to return the favor for you. So,
and here's the thing: before we get that, we are putting MJF over later on in this episode of the podcast. I just want to say, I'm going to put this out here. This is the one time where I didn't even bother doing any fucking research on him. I didn't bother because I don't need to. I don't need to.
I was about to say, there's no way. He's a We Are Wrestling Maniac.
Yeah, I didn't need to do any research to know anything of his past, his upbringing, go up to now, and we'll get into that. But I just want to put out on record, I did no type of fucking research, nor did I think it was necessary, and you'll see why. But
So one
continue.
final thing I want to add to my reason why I choose the ladder over the table and the chair. I go to a lot of independent wrestling shows, and even though they don't use the tables, I see a lot of door spots. So honestly, I'm going to go with the ladder. I think that's the best weapon because obviously it evolves throughout the years. We get Money in the Bank, we get regular ladder matches, especially now, like with the women wrestlers doing more ladder matches. Like I've just really enjoyed them throughout the years. And that's like something I could just talk about for hours. But the We Are Wrestling Maniacs have spoken, and there it is right there. 36% of you picked table, 55% of you picked ladder, and only 9% of you picked the chair. And next week's power of the poll, it's a good one. Who has the better 5-star frog splash? Eddie Guerrero or Rob Van Dam? You can go vote over on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel under our community tab. 1 week.
I would rename it who had the better frog splash, because there is a very big difference between the 5-star and the regular frog splash.
I didn't add 5-star to the actual thing. I was just trying to hype it up a little bit.
But execution, I would say execution is like where it's at. And I'm not even gonna lie, even as myself as a fan, that's gonna be hard to choose, because I love both a lot, because it really comes with the execution on how they do it and how it looks, you know, and how it's like how graceful the flight is and how beautiful the landing is. It really does depend. And both of them are killer out of the park. So it's even going to be hard for me to decide, man.
Well, you're going to have to get your number 2 pencil. You're going to have to go on YouTube and you're going to have to watch some compilations, because you, myself, and all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs listening to the podcast have 1 week to decide who has the better frog splash, Rob Van Dam or Eddie Guerrero. So now, with that being said, let's get into the highlight of the week.
Fuck yeah.
So, Ben, what's got to be your highlight of the week in the pro wrestling world?
See, now it's kind of like a couple things, but it's the same message. So I'm going to mention both and I'll tell you why. One was Kairi Sane's announcement that she's going to fucking Japan and she's going to be wrestling a match, which honestly, again, I love the collaborations that we're getting from WWE. I love how fucking.
Nope, it wasn't Kairi. It was Io Sky.
Not Kairi. Sorry, Io. Sorry, little toasty. Io. You know, like Io getting an opportunity to go to Japan and fight. You know, like that's a big fucking deal, dude. Seeing the collabs that WWE has going on right now is just a breath of fresh air. Just like, again, tying into the other thing that's my highlight. Just that stupid picture of the Spider-Man pointing with fucking Cody Rhodes, fucking Lexus King, Sean Spears, fucking Ethan Page. Like, yeah, exactly. This one. That is my highlight, because I love seeing how open the Forbidden Door really is in WWE. And just like the fact that they're allowed to talk about things. They're allowed to make nadas. They're allowed to make mentions. And they're also allowed to be proud of their time there. And that's something that Vince would never fucking have allowed, is they're allowed to air it out. They're allowed to, they're still on teetering on saying the actual fucking, like, you know, the actual letters of the company. Like, we're going to get there one day. But the fact that they're allowed to mention it, they're allowed to mention their accolades they're allowed to be together and on camera and on social media, talk about their time. You know, it's something that's really like ringing to me. You know, like it's something that's really making me happy. You know, seeing the Crossroads, you know, like fucking Dana Brooke coming back to NXT, but as Ash by Elegance, as a TNA superstar. We're apparently likely going to see it. If he agrees to it, we're likely going to see it with Ollie as well, because apparently NXT wants him as a part of the partnership because of his success based on what he's been doing post WWE. So I'm really just stoked about the real Forbidden Door here, not just a bunch of bullshit matches and the fact that people that, you know, haven't been in the company are getting title shots, you know, in other companies, but WWE's allowing it in a way where it feels organic. It feels very together like, and it does feel like massive shit. Like seeing Jordan Grace in WWE, dude, like
They did a
I'm
great job.
still reeling it in that not only did she get a title shot, which we knew she wasn't going to win, but the fact that it feels like such a big deal, and seeing her really, get her tryout matches, so to speak, on WWE television, because we know for a fact that when Jordynne Grace's contract does eventually run up, whether if it's this year, next year, the year after, doesn't matter. She's WWE bound. She's WWE bound because she's the most featured superstar from TNA that they're bringing over constantly. So like I have to elaborate just on how excited I am for everybody involved. Like I just need to elaborate my excitement for the real Forbidden Door here, in the real bridge across companies, in the real, because it's not just TNA, it's fucking Japan too. What the fuck is next?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You do still have to give AEW credit for really starting to open up that Forbidden Doors, because without AEW doing it, I feel like we really wouldn't be where we're at right now, because AEW did start it off with TNA. They had a great working relationship with them. And then throughout the years, obviously right now they have a great relationship with CMLL, AAA, also New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think it's just great for pro wrestling as a whole. And now, especially the flagship show, WWE,
You always gotta defend
doing
it.
it's a great move. And I got to give WWE credit, because years ago, they would have never done this. And the fact that they actually are doing this, I think this is a W for all the fans. All the AEW fans, all the WWE fans, all the New Japan fans, including Ricky Knows Best. I think that
definitely creaming on it.
It's just a massive W for everybody with this whole Forbidden Door thing. And I love that WWE's doing it.
And the thing is, I feel like if Triple H was in charge years ago, we definitely would have had this years ago. Like, he's always been open to partnerships. He's always been open to collaboration, like he's always been interested in Japan. Like, like he is interested in other territories. That's something that we have never gotten in WWE
during
before.
NXT Black and Gold. He made a surprise appearance at, I think, ICW. It was a UK show.
Yeah, that's what I'm fucking saying. Just to be there, just to fucking be there. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it is insane. The love we're able to provide to these other territories.
And one person too that I feel like we forgot to mention too that definitely deserves praise. And I know he's been trying to open up the Forbidden Door in WWE for years. Gotta take my hat off to William Regal, because William Regal has really tried to do this for years. And Triple H and him, that's why they've had such a great working relationship in NXT, because they both have that same visual. Like they want to go all over the world, and they know how much power they have being the flagship show, being World Wrestling Entertainment. They know how much it can elevate not only the smaller promotions out there, but it's also going to make WWE look good as well.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely 100% spot on. I'm just so happy with the boom period of just everybody's really eaten, and I think that's like my highlight of the week, because it was really showcased this week.
So my highlight of the week is also the whole NXT AEW reunion thing. I thought that this was really cool, because obviously being a day one AEW fan, I really did enjoy that, because we had Lexus King, Brian Pillman Jr., and I love that they put him in there with guys like Shawn Spears. I'll let you say what you were going to say.
Can we just give Alexis King his flowers real quick? Because I just want to talk about the massive improvement of just his career alone from jumping ship. Like compared to like what he was doing to what he's doing now, and just even how he looks now. Like I'm just hyped. I'm hyped for all of these guys. I just wanted to put that out there.
But I thought it was also cool too. In this picture, we had Shawn Spears as well, which him and Cody, obviously, they go all the way back to OVW when they first started training to become wrestlers. And then having, obviously, the latest signing, All Ego Ethan Page. I thought that was really cool. And then, having Cody there,
God.
obviously.
Ethan Page is going to eat.
Oh, I'm so excited for his future. But I love the fact that we had all four of these guys. But now, here's what I'm going to say. And this is to the people that play tribalism in pro wrestling.
I got to stray, but sure.
I love how we're all enjoying this right now with all 4 of these former AEW guys just hanging out backstage. But let's say AEW did something like this with 4 NXT guys. I guarantee you the IWC would be shitting on that. And I feel like that's
Do you want to
not
know
fair.
why? Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why they shit on it?
Why?
Because the approach is different, and WWE out here just spouting nonsense every fucking week on goddamn Twitter. That's why. If Tony Khan never did any of those things, it would be respectable. That's
I
why
disagree. I feel like it's just when it comes to momentum, Ben, you know this. When it comes to momentum, remember when AEW had momentum at one point? Whatever WWE did, it was always a problem. Am I right or wrong?
Whatever WWE did, what do you mean? Like, be specific.
So remember when AEW first came out? Because I remember with
They're
the old
having a boom
episodes of the
period?
podcast, you, myself, and Danny. Because me and Danny, obviously, we were big AEW fans at the time. You were still focusing on WWE. And what I'm trying to say is, during that time, whatever WWE did that was shit, everybody would laugh at them. WWE would be the laughing stock. But now that WWE has the momentum over AEW, whatever AEW does that WWE does, AEW will get shit for it.
I never said that.
Well, I'm just saying, just overall, man, when
I
it
never
comes to
said
like
that.
when it's all said and done, when it comes to the IWC, like if AEW did something like this, people would be pissed. Obviously, for me, I thought it was cool.
I'd be
and I
hyped.
had no issues with it. But now if AEW does something like this, I don't want to hear WWE fanboys friggin' complaining about it.
I personally would think it'd be dope if they did it in AEW with obviously like the right people like Jericho, Moxley, like
But you see,
some of these bigger guys.
You would think that that's dope, but most of the WWE fans would cry about it.
Again, because AEW, specifically Tony Khan, made his company a fucking laughingstock. That wasn't WWE's fault. WWE just got good. It just got good. That's it.
Like, here's another example I'll throw before we move on to the recaps. One big critique that I had going into, I believe it was the Wednesday Night Wars when AEW first announced Dynamite. In spite of AEW, WWE decided, let's move NXT from Tuesdays, which was doing really good in the ratings and everything, and let's go head-to-head with AEW so that we can have them lose viewers on Wednesdays. Imagine AEW did something like that going head-to-head with WWE. I think that friggin' WWE fanboys, they'd be crying. They'd be pissed off. Like, I feel like what AEW does, like, no matter what, is, like, all under, like, a microscope. And, like, with WWE, they could go do something and it's no problem. That's why I hate tribalism, ladies and gentlemen. But this was my highlight of the week. I thought that this was pretty cool. So, with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly recap for the We Are Wrestling podcast, episode 112.
Hell yeah, boy.
So, starting things off, this past Tuesday, Cody Rhodes announced that there will be a battle royal to determine Trick Williams' next opponent. There's rumors that some TNA wrestlers will be in this match. Who do you want to see from TNA cross over to NXT in this battle royal? Just some fun fantasy booking.
Give me Ziggler and fucking Mustafa Ali. Just for ha-has. Give me Ziggler and Mustafa Ali. Like, it would be cool because can you imagine those pops? Because nobody would expect it. Like, people are like, okay, I'd expect one or the other. Not both. Not both after they got released. So that would also be like a holy shit moment too, because they brought them back. As for anybody else, you're going to hate me, but I don't really know many other people from TNA. Like, I don't really watch TNA. I have access, literally, but I just don't tune in, and it's something I need to change. And but what if, let me counteract you with another question. What if it's a debut of a TNA superstar going to NXT now and actually winning?
That would be interesting. So, a couple people that come to my mind. One, if this happens, honestly, I'm going to lose my shit just laughing about it. And that's Broken Matt Hardy. He's been teasing it on Twitter, talking about how like he wants to show up in the NXT universe and delete everybody from the Battle Royal. So honestly, if Matt Hardy shows up, that would be pretty freaking funny. One guy
That would be fucking nuts.
There's one guy that I would really love to see with a WWE TNA crossover, and that's Joe Hendry. He's been really picking up a lot of momentum with like these viral songs, these viral videos that he's putting out. And I feel like he's really next in line to be like the next TNA world champion with just how much popularity he's gaining. I would love to see that crossover, even if it happens at Clash at the Castle in Scotland, where he's from. Honestly, I would love that if he showed up like in the crowd or something. But for NXT, the Battle Royal, I could see him being a part of it. Also, Mustafa Ali, I love what he's doing right now, and I could see why WWE is interested in having him a part of NXT with the whole campaign thing that he's doing with the X Division title. It's been great shit. So I wouldn't mind seeing Mustafa in there.
Great
also,
shit.
the system, like I would love to see guys like Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Moose, even some of the day ones like Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian, guys that just haven't really gotten an opportunity to do something. I feel like they can definitely gain some popularity by doing that, which would be cool.
Yeah.
But the Battle Royal, I think, is definitely going to be interesting because you never know what's going to happen. And I love that they're teasing that there's going to be a forbidden door involved, which is cool.
Hell yeah.
But up next, we have the comment of the week. And of course, the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling podcast episode 112.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
We're back. And just a reminder, if you're listening or watching this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast on Friday, a day early because of the PLE happening tomorrow, we will be live over on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel and Facebook page for WWE Clash at the Castle. So if you're looking for somebody to watch the show with, Ben and I will be live and in person. So there won't be anybody that's 5 seconds ahead of the other. We'll be in sync, and it's going to be a good time because we're going to be doing an outdoor live watch along.
Every week on the episode, we do a comment of the week, and this week's comment was from the Clash of the Castle predictions, and it is from the one, the only Byron Cutler, 4567, and his comment says, and I quote, "To be honest, I do like Byron Cutler a lot. To be honest, I don't blame Triple H for Ricochet leaving. I blame Vince McMahon. If Triple H was in charge sooner, Ricochet would not have been unhappy when Triple H took control, but it was too late."
I love Brian Cutler. I love you, Brian Cutler. But you are a WWE fanboy, just like my co-host here. And here's what I'm going to say about this.
Fuck off.
How long ago did Triple H get the keys to creative?
2022. The end of 2022.
The end of 2022. What year are we in?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
2024. Almost 2 years we've been under Triple H's creative. And for some reason, he doesn't know how to book Ricochet, just like your buddy, old Vinnie Mac. Not your buddy, Brian Cutler's buddy. And Ricochet, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, he is a professional wrestler, which is why he hasn't gotten over really in the WWE as a top guy like he was supposed to be, because he's more of a pro wrestler. He'd rather be in front of 10 people fighting 60-minute matches than competing on fucking Twitter in a speed match that's only 3 minutes long. Ricochet, man, I can't wait to get into the main event topic with him because I know there's going to be a lot that we're going to talk about, but I feel like it's not Vince McMahon's fault. It's not Triple H's fault. Or actually, no, it is Triple H and Vince's fault. What the fuck am I saying?
So is he going to go out and is he going to go to AEW under the name Boomerang now?
I have no idea what he's gonna go under. I think Puma something he goes by, but I don't know because I think he has the rights to Ricochet name because he used that name before WWE. So I think he's gonna just come out as Ricochet, honestly.
Shit. Okay.
And I think that he's definitely going to be AEW bound, but I do blame Triple H and I do blame Vince because I always say this when it comes to promoters, everybody has their guys and girls that they like to push and they like to put over. And with Ricochet, man, like what he had in NXT, nothing will ever reach that, which is why I think he's gotten lost in the shuffle throughout the years on the main roster. Very talented individual, but I feel like WWE, they're going in a new direction. And with AEW going more into the sports, like professional wrestling route, where like pretty much the stories are being told in the ring, I feel like that's where Ricochet wants to be. So
Yeah.
I blame Triple H and Vince. What about you, Ben?
Honestly, with the way that WWE was going, we've already known for a long time that cruiserweights kind of lost their place, like among names, So with the way the product is shaped now, there isn't really much room for that anymore. Like even Rey Mysterio is starting to get phased out now because he's reaching the end of his career, and I think that going forward, we're gonna be seeing a very different WWE, as we're already seeing. And sometimes when there's change, you just don't fit the mold, and that's okay. There's other places where your value in, what you want to do will be realized. You just got to find it. And, AEW, I would say, is a good choice because, he's got friends there. But long term, I think it's just, I hate to say it, but I think he's destined to fail, Long term, I think he's destined to fail. I think he would find more success back in Japan. I think
Against that.
I think that AEW should be like his one-off matches, like where he kind of competes, here and there. But I think that he belongs in Japan. I think he belongs there.
Plus, like TNA,
I think Ricky
would be
would
a really
agree.
cool spot too. Definitely.
TNA would be a good landing spot, but I think that would also very much so restrict him.
But I feel like
Because
with
they're on a very
Ricochet,
different level too.
he's not going to get in the situation like he was with a lot of these former WWE guys in AEW because guys like Miro and like Malachi, they're more storytellers than professional wrestlers. And Ricochet, he relies on his movesets. He relies on his skills in the ring to really get him over. And I think in AEW, that's a perfect match.
So
literally.
let's cut this conversation short because we're kind of like
Main
diving
event
into like,
topic,
main event
right?
stuff. So like let's
Congratulations, Brian Cutler!
Yeah, congratulations, Byron Cutler. It was such a good comment. I had to cut the host off.
So congratulations to Brian Cutler on the comment of the week. If you want to get your comment featured on a future episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, all you got to do is just leave a comment, and Rage Circus will pick one of them. Only one.
Yep.
Once a week. So, with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors.
Holy shit.
Starting things off, while on set for his upcoming movie, The Smashing Machine, The Rock suffered an elbow injury. Rock said he got banged up pretty good today in our scene, and there may be some soft tissue damage. He said, the pain feels pretty good, and he added, it feels like he's had a cantaloupe in the bottom of his elbow. What's your thoughts on The Rock being sidelined now with an injury that's not in WWE, out in Hollywood?
Some people just don't believe in age. Like they can just like escape Mother Nature, like it's not going to creep up on them no matter how great of shape you're in. Why? This is like one of those reasons why, people have stunt doubles. Then again, it could have been an accident. I could just be a complete asshole here. But this is why people have fucking stunt doubles. He is 50 now, like maybe creeping up very closely, or is a little over 50 now. There's a point in your career where you need to start pulling back a little bit, because now it makes me question, how the fuck did you get through Mania? Like, how did you get through Mania if you got an elbow injury that bad on a set of your movie? Like, what the fuck did you do? Jump off the fucking did you jump off like the fucking Titantron itself and try to fucking pull a Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 22 without any arm wear? Like, how did you hurt yourself that bad?
So from my research on the Smashing Machine, I believe it's an MMA movie. So obviously, like, you're destined to get hurt if you have a big role in this, because you are doing mixed martial arts. And I know The Rock has been actually training doing mixed martial arts for this movie in particular. I believe post-Mania is when he started the training. It's unfortunate because, yes, you're right about the age. A lot of people want to say, oh, like, age is just a number, this and that.
No, the fuck it ain't.
With like what The Rock is doing just all over the world, especially with his intense training, and now especially with the whole Final Boss character, and we know that he definitely wants to do a couple more matches in the WWE. Teased it with Cody. We all know we're going to get Rock and Roman at some point. Like, and of course, he's doing the most movies right now in Hollywood. And I think The Rock, man, he's one, like, yes, he's very successful, but he's got to pick and choose, like, his fights and his battles, especially now that he's getting up there in age.
Yeah, spot on. That's literally
you can't be Superman.
You can't be Superman. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, you really can't.
But I do wish The Rock a speedy recovery. I do hope that he does come back stronger, and hopefully, like, when the MRI results come out for this injury, it's just something minor that just won't take him out for a while, because obviously we've seen it plenty of times where his Hollywood schedule gets backed up and then it ruins WWE TV, which I hope it doesn't, because we know WrestleMania 41, it's Rock versus Rhodes. So I'm hoping we don't ruin that. But moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors. According to Fightful, AEW and the grizzled young veterans have had talks about potential contracts. I know you're not really that familiar with the young veterans. I know you did watch them with me for TNA Hard to Kill, but I know you don't really follow their careers much. But from what you saw from Hard to Kill, how do you feel about AEW trying to get them under contract?
I just wish their tag team division was better. It's one of those things. Again, like, I don't. What I'm going to say is not tribalism, but I feel like I can't critique AEW without you just, like, hating my soul for whatever reason. Like, I feel the tension. So, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, back when Tony was on planet Earth, he said something about the downfall of WCW. You can't hire everybody you like. You can't have a crowded fucking roster. He does both. He has one of those things. He does the other. Why am I supposed to be excited about new AEW signings? There's a new fucking signing every goddamn week.
Yeah, at least
you got a point. Exactly.
At least it's not like a lot of former WWE guys that are like big stars.
Yeah.
At least.
So, but it's another fucking signing. Like, bro, do you remember back in the day? I sound like fucking Vince Russo. Do you remember back in the day when signings were exciting? When they were like out of the fucking blue? I missed that.
You are not going to blame just Tony Khan for this.
I am gonna blame Tony Khan for this, because he does it every fucking week. Triple H doesn't have a new signing every fucking week. It's not every fucking week.
Dude, this year, let alone Triple H has signed just as many talent as AEW.
You know what? You want to know why?
Look at all.
Because
Look
he
at all.
Do you
Look at
want?
all
Do you
Haku's
want to know why?
kids.
Do you want to know why? Because he's needed to hire
Haku's
new
threatening
people.
Triple H.
Do you
That's why.
understand? Do you understand how fucking bare and empty WWE's locker room was not 2 years ago? Yes, he needs to fucking sign people. And
I think they got
TKO
all-
is
they're
expanding.
loaded. They're
And they are
loaded, man.
expanding. Bro, they are they are expanding. I'm trying not to Vince Russo this shit, but dude, they are expanding. And they need the talent. They need new matches. We're getting sick of the same fucking people. We bitch about it every fucking day on WWE television.
As an AEW viewer, I can say the same.
Somebody fucking else. Da, 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 da. But here's the difference between WWE and
But here's the
AEW.
thing, though. As an
AEW has
AEW
had
fan,
a
I can say the
backlog of
same thing.
talent.
I'm sick of the same matches. And
Yes,
it's got
but here's
one
the
where
thing.
Tony Khan has played with the toys
Donnie,
too much.
Donnie, you're killing me though. Dog, you're killing me though. The difference between WWE and AEW is AEW has had a backlog for years of talent he could have been giving opportunities to, and he's still hiring. WWE just started fucking hiring people, and you're bitching about it.
Look,
And we've been bitching. See,
No, I'm just
look,
playing
nothing.
devil's
You know I
advocate.
got you, bitch.
I'm
You know I
playing
got
devil's
you, bitch.
advocate. And I was just going to say, that's a great point you made. That was a good point.
Yes.
Because you're right.
Exactly.
You are absolutely right. When it comes to utilizing the signings, WWE definitely does 10 times better than AEW, of course. I'm not going to
But
argue
it's not-
that.
But
But
it's also
Triple
just a
H-
backlog.
But look at all the people Triple H has signed too. And
Yes.
WWE is becoming very crowded. Like, look at the talent that haven't been on PLEs in a long time.
What the problem there is, though, isn't
I
the
think
talent,
it's there's
the
so many
amount of
talented
matches on the
professional
PLEs.
wrestlers all over the world that it's just difficult for people to pick and choose.
But as an argument for what you just said, though, it's not a talent issue. It's the amount of matches on the PLEs. Like, you either want to add the 7 back for your 1-day PLE events, or you're gonna want to split it into 2-day PLEs, like you do with Mania. It's 100%. Like, you have to give and take. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And that's WWE's problem, is not utilizing talents for PLEs because there's not enough fucking time. There's
and
not.
it's also, and the thing is, with both of these companies, it's extremely difficult to get a lot of these talent over. And I'm talking both AEW and WWE because there's only so much time you have on television every week to put these stars on. And let's say somebody like in WWE is not being used one week, that's going to affect them when they come back the next week. And that's the problem with AEW as well. They don't know how to just space it out. And it's very unfortunate. But now getting back like into the grizzled young veterans, I think that this would be a great signing for AEW because the tag team division has been very lackluster and they have been breaking up a lot of teams. Obviously, best friends, they were a team since day one, Trent and Chuck. Chuck now had a career-ending injury, so he's not wrestling anymore. Trent's a heel. And there's just a lot of tag teams out there that are pretty much just breaking up right now.
Career-ending injury?
Yeah, I believe like he did something, like there's been like a nagging injury he's had like throughout the years, and then it just caught up to him, I believe.
Damn.
I think it was like a decision he made. Like he decided to step down. But AEW now, they have him doing like producing stuff, which is cool. But when it comes to like the tag teams, like AEW, they've been getting very stale and old. And honestly, I'm actually excited for them to bring in some new tag teams because I think the division really could use some of that. And it really just doesn't help either that one of your most popular tag teams, FTR, Dax Hardwood, he's out. He's going to be out for quite some time with a lower back injury. So I think like bringing in grizzled young veterans who haven't gotten a real opportunity, I think they definitely deserve it. I'm just hoping that the tag team division can definitely pick up some momentum because right now, WWE and AEW, their tag divisions fucking suck.
See, I'm glad that Dax Wheeler is going to get some time to fucking like
he needs
do some shit. Like he's going to be able to have some time to be a singles competitor, and I've always thought he was talented. So I think that it's going to be great.
Well, with Dax, it's he had a lower back injury, so like that's
Cash. Sorry.
Oh,
fucking
Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
about Cash Wheeler, not Dax, right?
Yeah, yeah, sorry, Cash.
Yeah, so Cash will probably be doing some singles
Dax
stuff.
Hardwood, sorry. Yeah, Cash. Like, I'm excited for him to do something because I've always thought he was talented.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. But somebody that's more familiar with the grizzled young veterans, Ricky knows best. He's gonna give us his thoughts on AEW's interest in this tag team. So let's hear what Ricky's got to say on Ricky Knows Best.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
It's me, Ricky Williams.
Moxley's just as crazy as him.
No, Ricky! Bullshit!
They do it too sometimes. I be catching it.
It's me, Ricky Williams.
Stop playing.
But that's my opinion.
You're so over.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
What's up, We Are Wrestling fans? What's up, We Are Wrestling? Shout out to the best one, Donnie, and then shout out to Uncle Pat. And everybody wants my thoughts on the grizzled young vets. I call them young grizzly vets, but grizzled young vets going to AEW. I think, in my opinion, it's a good move for AEW to bring them in because the tag team division over there is low-key stacked, but adding the grizzled young vets to the tag team division, and they are one of the best tag teams in professional wrestling and one of the last true tag teams apart from FTR. I think the grizzled young vets can make a big impact. As long as they're booked right, pushed right, and Tony Khan actually knows what to do with them, I think the grizzled young vets will be very successful in AEW. And I'm expecting a big push from these guys, and I like their wrestling style as it is. Them and FTR, I need to see that type of match soon. But the grizzled young vets on top of that, like I said, man, they one of the best tag teams in the business today, and sky's the limit for them. But yeah, that's my opinion. Let me know what y'all think about that.
But moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors. Fans shouldn't expect to see Scott D'Amore joining AEW anytime soon. After TNA's departure, people believe until the agreement ends, D'Amore will take the paychecks before making his next wrestling move. His contract with Anthem expires in February 2025. What's your thoughts on Anthem putting a non-compete in Scott D'Amore's contract and pretty much paying him to stay home doing nothing?
Because they know he's a fucking genius and they want to prevent him for as long as possible to not go anywhere else, so that if they can secure something sooner, like after everything's like all said and done, that they can. They know he's money. They know he's fucking the reason why TNA is what it is again, you know, like they know it. And it's just unfortunate that, you know, he's kind of getting a leash on him for no fucking reason, you know, like you didn't want him, so why the fuck you putting a non-compete on him, you know?
More than a leash. I think they put him in a fucking cage with barbed wire.
Gave him a chastity belt.
Yep, shock. Like if he touches the cage, fucking goes to like lick the
Shock
fucking
collar?
cage, it's gonna shock him. Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Man, Scott D'Amore. Like, I know WWE likes to do this a lot. I know AEW does it a lot. But TNA? Come on! We're really going to just waste the whole year, pretty much, of Scott D'Amore doing nothing because you want to fucking have him step down as president when he was fucking killing it.
Dude,
Usually when you're killing someone, usually when you're doing a great job at your work,
you get promoted, not fired.
You get promoted, you get a raise. And Scott D'Amore should have gotten a raise, but instead they laid him off. Bullshit.
Bro, I was so angry the day that he got released because I was just like, what the fuck? Why? You know? Like, what do you mean he got fired? For what? It's one of those things I'll never understand. That's all.
Me either. And I just watched the TNA, the Impact 20-year anniversary show. 20 years for having the television show Impact. And I was listening to Eric Young talk about 20 years of TNA Impact, and I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I don't want to hear you talk about this. I want to hear Scott D'Amore. What the fuck.
Scotty DeMo. Yeah, bro.
Because you know how Eric Young talks, right? He has that
Yeah.
like smoker's voice. Like he's like,
Mhm.
20 years of fucking TNA wrestling. I love this. Like, I had to listen to that for like fucking like 10 minutes. I just wanted to listen to Scott. Because Scott is literally the Paul Heyman of fucking TNA.
Yep.
And it's so disappointing. Should have never gotten let go or fucking... Hey, at least he's still getting paid, though, so good for him. Get that money up, and then hopefully he goes to WWE or AEW and leaves a dent.
Yeah.
But moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors topic. Ooh, this one's a good one. Finally, a good one. Booker T's WWE contract is expiring soon. While appearing at the River City Wrestling Convention last Saturday, Booker T confirmed that his contract should be coming up here soon. He thinks wrestling is all about having fun more than anything, and those working in NXT are having a lot of fun and winning. He sees NXT as a hot product with those wrestling glares to going out and performing and trying to make it to the next level. Do you think WWE should re-sign Booker T?
I mean, I like Booker T. You know, I think he's doing good on, NXT. He's on commentary, right?
He is on commentary.
You know, like he does some pretty good fucking commentary. You know, he's a legend, but at the same time, dude's fucking up there in age too. It's like there's some things I don't understand about some of these legends. It's like I get, it's hard to stay away, but you put your body and your time away from family for this for a long time already. Go do something. Like, I'll never understand Ric Flair. I'll never understand Arn Anderson. I'll never understand some of these guys. Like, I know it's hard to stay away.
Well, with Booker T,
why
it's
would
easy.
you want to travel the world in a different way?
Well, with commentary, though, it's pretty easy for Booker. He shows up on Tuesdays for NXT, a couple PLEs, and that's it. And then he goes to his training school, Reality of Wrestling, does his podcast, and just enjoys family time. Because usually the commentators, they have really good schedules because they don't really have to go to like the house shows and the live events. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I will say, like, Booker T
get the bag.
Has really been a huge part of this new NXT that I really generally enjoy. I could sit there for 2 hours and enjoy watching NXT. And I think a lot of it is Booker T's excitement because at the end of the day, he's a fan just like us. And especially with like just the enthusiasm that he has for like Trick Williams when he comes out, when you hear the crowd going, whoop that Trick, and then Booker T goes, what? Oh yeah. I fucking love Booker T. Like, he's just a natural treasure on commentary, and that man, as long as he wants to do it, WWE needs to lock him in. Because just like Phil and I were talking about on our live old school versus new school last month, dude, Booker T is the highest in the room, and it's just fucking awesome. Like, if you're a stoner, watch NXT. Watch NXT and just listen to the shit Booker T says on that program for 2 hours. It's must-watch TV. So, yeah, honestly, man, Booker T, I hope he resigns. I'm glad that he's picking up some momentum, and he's having fun. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, man.
Moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors topic. Oh, man. This one really threw me out of left field. I didn't even know they had another sibling. The bloodline just keeps on growing. Fightful reported that both WWE and New Japan expect Tama Tonga and Tonga Loma's brother to wind up working for WWE. Though it hasn't been confirmed yet that he has signed a contract, nor that he has had officially finished up with New Japan. If not, it's expected immediately, as his deal is believed to expire at some point this month. WWE recently filed a trademark for a new name going by Tala Tonga. How do you feel? How do you feel about another new member of the bloodline?
Tamatonga, Talatonga, and Tongaloa.
Yep.
Why? Tama, Loa. I just.
How many more kids does Haku have that we don't know about?
So let me ask. So is this big brother, little brother, youngest brother, or some shit?
Honestly, I'm gonna do research while we're talking about this because this today threw me out of left field.
This dude basically looks just like what Solo Sokoa and Tamatonga would look like if they had a love child.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, like he looks. I don't know, man. I don't know.
So he has four children. So he has Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and this new guy here, which I can't even pronounce his New Japan
Just
name.
say Talatonga. Just say Talatonga.
Talatonga. Man, honestly, I will say there is one good thing about this. Obviously, it's going to further the storyline with this new bloodline thing. And I know WWE, they're worried about Jacob Fatu outshining Solo Sikoa. So now you can honestly have Tala Tonga join his brothers in Solo, a part of the new bloodline. And then
Jacob
Roman
Fatu
Reigns,
would go with Roman.
Yep, I was just going to say, Jacob Fatu joins Roman and the Usos. There you go. You got right there, bloodline civil war, 4-on-4.
I think that's what's going to happen for War Games. I think that's what's happening. And I think that we're going to be seeing the debut of Jacob Fatu really soon. And I think that he's going to at first align with them, but then he's going to turn around and turn on them under Roman Reigns. And I think that like he's going to send Jacob to kind of like infiltrate kind of the same way he did with Sammy.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing too.
That's
like,
how it's going to go.
You also have to think about the storyline wise, what's going on here, which I know a lot of people right now, they're not a fan of this new bloodline with Solo. I'm not going to lie. I fucking love what they're doing here with this new bloodline. And I know I am on the unpopular side of it, and I'm okay with that because I think Solo right now is doing such a great job with this role. Tamatonga is just looking just like a natural. Like he's been in WWE for fucking years. He's doing great. Tongaloa, we're starting to learn more things about him. And if you're really listening to Paul Heyman, the reason why they didn't bring in the Tonga brothers was because of their background, like their criminal background. They're very dangerous. So that's why they never brought him to WWE. But obviously Solo has a different approach on the things. So I feel like Roman Reigns, to really fight back against Tama and Tonga and Solo, and obviously the new brother, Tala, he's going to bring in Jacob Fatu. And I think Jacob Fatu's going to, oh man, I can't wait to see his debut and what they're going to do because he's fucking talented.
Oh yeah, I've seen. I'm very aware of Jacob Fatu.
But I will say this. Usually a lot of the times we complain when WWE changes names. Honestly, I'm really happy about this because I can't pronounce his New Japan name, so I get to call him Talatonga.
Yeah.
So I can actually pronounce it. Let's freaking go. But obviously, you and I, we don't know much about this third son of Haku's. This really threw us out of left field, but there's one person that knows about him and probably his entire life. And that is Ricky knows best. So let's hear what Ricky's thoughts are on Tala Tonga coming to WWE.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
It's me, Ricky Williams. Moxley's just as crazy as him.
No, Ricky! Bullshit!
They do it too sometimes. I'll be catching it.
It's me, Ricky Williams.
Stop playing.
But that's my opinion.
You're so over.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
Yeah, everybody wants my thoughts on Hakalua going to WWE to join up with his brothers potentially, Tamatonga and Tongaloa, and his cousin Solo Sikoa. I think putting him in the bloodline would be very instrumental. Then you have that dominating big man in the group. Doesn't have to say anything, just look dominating, intimidating, and just clean house. Strictly like that. But Hakalua is literally that and then some. So I'm not mad at that decision too with WWE. As long as it gets booked right. But that's just my opinion though. Let me know what y'all think. Shout out to We Are Wrestling. Shout out to the best one and Uncle Ben. Shout out to the whole cast, man.
So yeah, Ricky's got the knowledge. That's why we have him here on We Are Wrestling. Ben and I can't believe they have a third brother. What's next? The fourth kid's gonna join too? We're just gonna have to wait and see. But
Bloodline's just gonna come back, including.
But up next, I'm ready for this stuff now because the news, it was just all over the place. Up next, we have the Getting Put Over segment, and of course, the main event topic. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling Podcast episode 112.
Hey, this is Flip Gordon. You're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. Let's flip and go!
So now that you guys are out of WWE, what's your dream tag team like to wrestle?
It's still the same as when we were first went to WWE, to be honest. I'm going to go Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys.
When I was growing up, I had three favourite wrestlers. Billy Gunn, first ever favourite wrestler. Don't ask why. Well, no, do ask why. He's fucking sick. Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy. I've wrestled Billy Gunn. I've wrestled Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Get Jeff Hardy in there and I can retire.
Hardys as well for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, so there's a load, and even some really obscure ones. I would love in an ideal world to wrestle Paul and Break.
Oh, nice.
When I grew up, they were I'm a small guy.
Yeah.
So watching them on the main roster.
London and Kendrick,
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
They were one of my favorite tag teams during the SmackDown era.
What I mean? So,
for the record, I do actually think our money match at the moment is the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Oh, Young Bucks, yeah.
I think those are the chemistry there.
Yeah, that would be a great match.
Clash of styles, but it's styles that complement each other quite well. So I think those are the Young Bucks is a good one.
And Machine Guns.
They're one of my favorites in TNA. All of them. Bring them all. We're back. And every week we do this thing called the Getting Put Over segment, where Ben and I, we alternate every week, and we pick one past, present, or future superstar, and we put them over. Ben, it's your turn this week, and who are we putting over?
We're putting over Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Oh, damn, not even...
AF, baby.
Not even the... Come on, man. Not even the right scarf.
Well, I can't afford a real scarf, so that's why I got the MJF one on Shop AEW.
Folky.
But yeah, MJF, man, when you said that we were going to put him over, I was very excited. Last week, obviously, you were having some internet problems, so that's why we didn't do the Getting Put Over segment. But finally, we get to put over, in my opinion, the greatest professional wrestler right now in wrestling itself. I think nobody is on the level of the Devil. MJ friggin' F. I'm excited about this one. I can't believe you beat me to it.
I just thought about it because we were gassing him the fuck up when it was in return gassing us up. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it, let's just talk about MJF. And I think that was a little bit more on behalf of yourself, but honestly, MJF is one of those people I did not have to do research on because the little research I've done beforehand guaranteed me one thing, that basically he's been just MJF his whole fucking life. The moment he stepped in a squared circle, he became MJF. And has not broken kayfabe. He's the greatest heel of all time. Probably the greatest on the... See, now that's hard, but at the same time, it's I'm fighting myself.
I'm not going to say he's the greatest on the mic of all time, but I'm saying right now in the current generation, he's one of the greatest.
He's the best on the mic in the current generation. He is the
I think
best.
Overall, man.
That dude is just... Well, maybe not overall. See, this is where it's hard because I say that, but then it's part of me fights that, and then it just
But here's the thing, it's tough because obviously MJF he's not in WWE right now. He's in AEW, which is obviously number 2.
WWE. it has nothing to do with the AEW or WWE thing. It's just an MJF thing. It's like, I want to say that, he's not one, like he's one of the greatest, or then I'll say he is the greatest of something, but then I'll see myself catching myself being like, no, but then I'll fight myself again, be like, well, maybe he might be. That's what I'm saying. Like, he is one of those spectacular once in a lifetime kind of guys. Like he is as special as John Cena was a lot earlier than I expected. Like, I thought it was going to be like another 40 fucking years until we got somebody like John Cena again, but apparently I was very wrong, and he's younger than us. Well, younger than me.
When you say John Cena, I
crazy.
just want to make sure we're like on the same page here. You're talking like generational talent, right?
Yes.
Okay,
like he is like the next, like he feels big. Like he has the same GOAT status, but he also has the same reliability. He's got the same amount of charisma. He's got there's a lot of the same diehard following, even if it's in like a heel realm. He just has it. Like, if you get praised by The Undertaker this fucking early on, and he, like, if there's one wrestler he could have worked with had he still been in his prime, would have been you. Yeah, you are John Cena level type shit. Like, maybe the best is yet to come, but
I think the best is yet to come.
But he is still like John Cena big. Like, I would consider him to be like this generation's John Cena big.
And he's right now just about to hit his prime years too pretty soon. Because usually in pro wrestling and sports, usually it's the age of 30 when you hit your prime years, which right now I believe he's 27. Which, man, MJF, I got to watch him wrestle his very first year as a pro wrestler. I watched him my first time, I think it was Blitzkrieg Pro back in 2016. And it was on this baseball field. He was in this battle royal. And man, what a fucking
dude was a kid.
Like,
dude
the
was a
one
kid.
thing that I remembered was he goes up to give a high five to this girl, to this woman, older woman. And basically, like, he goes up, he moves, and then he basically fucking he humps the fucking hair or something. Like, pretty much like giving her like a suck it, basically. And he was just kept talking shit like, I'm the best in the world and stuff. And man, it's crazy to see how far he has come in his career, because he wrestled a lot in my area. I saw him at Northeast Wrestling, got to see him at Blitzkrieg. I know he did a lot of stuff for Creative Pro because that's where he trained. And just to see him get to where he's at right now, man, I'm so proud of him.
Dude, that, like, even like, going a little bit further in time and like seeing him on fucking GTS, like, that was fucking sweet as fuck with Grim.
Yep, I do remember
like
those.
Seeing that shit with Grim, like, and then seeing like Grim's vlogs at him and AEW in the front row, and seeing MJF at the time being the AEW world champion, that must strike a chord with him too. Like, seeing how far this dude has come so quickly.
Oh,
and it's
definitely.
just amazing. Like, if your belief in someone matters, because he went from doing stuff like, Blitzkrieg at a very early age to doing things with Grim, who is one of the most well-renowned wrestling maniacs of all time, on his own show, and taking it seriously, and like actually still playing the MJF character, still cutting MJF promos on a $50 Walmart camera like it was fucking WrestleMania. The dude has just had it this entire time. So to see, him doing things like that, to literally main eventing big pay-per-views for a number 2 wrestling company in the world, it doesn't get any better than that, man. So,
easily the greatest homegrown AEW star ever, all time.
Greatest grown AEW star of all time, like 100%, like day one talent, like had no real name beforehand, like 100%, just grown talent in general.
And a lot of people
like AEW struck gold.
When it comes to AEW signing him, the person that really recruited Tony Khan to sign him was Cody Rhodes, because during the time when Cody Rhodes was doing stuff in the independent circuit, he did a lot for Northeast Wrestling, did a lot for Beyond Wrestling, and a lot of stuff in the Northeast area where MJF was wrestling. So then he saw MJF's performance and he gave him the opportunity at All In before AEW was a thing. And I remember watching MJF wrestle Matt Cross in a great match. And then, of course, AEW, the first promo this man cuts, it was against Bret Hart when he revealed the title. Oh my God, man, MJ, like, oh, there's so much to talk about when it comes to MJF.
Yeah, dude. Like, he is somebody that I was proven very wrong about early on, because like it's no secret that in the beginning of us doing this, I wasn't sold on who the fuck MJF was in general. Like, I was just not pleased. I wasn't fucking, I just wasn't about it. He just seemed kind of like just a fucking dickhead, and at the time, he wasn't as chiseled as he is now. He wasn't performing at the same level as he is now. Like, he's really come into his own fully in AEW, like, over time. And I, being on that journey, seeing him evolve, has been one of like the greatest pleasures of all time in wrestling history. It's been satisfying and gratifying.
And that's the thing too with MJF that a lot of people forget with how talented he is, because I remember when he first showed up in AEW, a lot of fans, they said, oh, he's just an EC3 Miz ripoff. That's it. Like, he's only good at the mic. And just throughout the years, so many people just continued to doubt him. And then instead of just letting it get to him, he went out there and he fucking proved why he's one of the best. He backed up everything he said. And honestly, one of my favorite moments for MJF was the return with AEW, because obviously he took a break. He wasn't happy with what he was getting paid. So then he pretty much got squashed against Wardlow and then came back at All Out. And basically it was supposed to be him versus CM Punk. He was the devil. And then CM Punk had the whole All Out friggin' media scrum crap happened. And basically MJF just went on. He won the AEW World Championship at Full Gear. And the man, all the accomplishments he did throughout his world title run definitely was so freaking good. Like the 1 hour Iron Man match with Bryan Danielson, in my opinion, I think it's the greatest Iron Man match that I've ever seen. Ever.
Period. And I've seen that match. Period.
And I can sit back and I can just rewatch it many times as possible.
His dog collar match with fucking CM Punk.
That was really
fucking
good feud.
Insane, bro.
That was such a good feud.
I will 100% say that him freaking out on Tony Khan is what birthed the MJF we know now. But I will say around the CM Punk feud is where we really got, like, I think he really got it, if you know what I mean. Like, any sense of green was gone. It's like just something changed that night. Like that, him coming out of that, something changed that night.
And also, too, I really enjoyed the beginning of AEW. One of his first feuds that he had was with Cody Rhodes, and I think that was a great launching pad for him to really show what he can do. And then he started this whole stipulation thing. And I remember one of my favorite segments was the 10 lashes with the belt to Cody Rhodes. I thought they did a great job on that.
Hell yeah, dude. And that's another thing about MJF is, like, he's such a collaborative person. And, regardless of the kayfabe X, Y, and Z, that dude, like, I want to, like, talk about his selling game. Like, that dude's selling game is incredible. He puts people over. Like, even if he's like the world's most renowned dickhead, he puts people over like a motherfucker. And he's one of the safest in the ring, especially for his age, bro. Like, it's crazy how much he gets it and how much he loves it, because you see it on display every time he sets foot in the ring, whether it's to talk or to kick somebody in the dick. Like, he puts passion into everything he fucking does. And
that's the thing that's so fucking awesome about MJF. And also the meet and greet experiences too. He's one of those guys that keeps kayfabe alive. He stays in character. And obviously, like, we know all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs. You guys have seen it. The Try Not to Laugh compilation. You guys have seen me going to Rhode Island Comic Con with my We Are Wrestling shirt. And then him immediately noticing it and burying the fuck out of me. It's literally in our intro, but that's what makes MJF so fucking awesome, because in the business, you need to stand out, and he's one that really stands out with everything he does. And it's just incredible to see what he's done throughout his entire career to this
Dude,
point.
it's honestly, it is a fucking, again, like I've said, it's a breath of fresh air seeing somebody so crass. That's it. You know, like it's a breath of fresh air.
Plus, too, something that we forgot to add, too. He's an
What's up, brother?
all-around performer. And it's amazing to see what he can do, because obviously he's mentioned that he does choir, which I think the segment he did with Chris Jericho, the whole singing thing, that was something that, like, going into it, I was like, I don't know, like, let's not fuck this up, please. But like when you hear Max fucking start singing with Jericho, it's like, holy shit. Wow, what can't this man do? And then like the whole like bar mitzvah like celebration that he had, and then Darby Allin pretty much like telling him you look like shit. Like there's just so much that he's done that's just been beyond entertaining. What's got to be one of your favorite segments from MJF's career?
One of my favorite segments. So randomly, I always think about it because like this was another one of my weird like favorite, and honestly, I think it was the final feud as him as world champion is with Samoa Joe, and I loved everything about the buildup of that feud because a lot of it also surrounded fucking Adam Cole. But I think one of my favorite segments, and there's a couple with Joe, and so I'll mention kind of all of them. One, it's obviously when Joe said that obviously he was being, you know, the biggest star in the other company's network, and even MJF was like, God damn. Like even seeing MJF, it's like, God damn, was like, whew. Two was when he got in Joe's face and told it, and he was trying to be like chill, like he wasn't trying to be the classic MJF who has outbursts and says just dumb shit to people when he's angry. So when he was just like, he kept calling him kid, and he was like, you call me kid one more time, I'll kick your fucking teeth down your throat or some shit. And then he was like, and then he was just like he didn't want to fucking say it, but like Joe finally just got him there. And then another segment with Joe is when like I think it was like after fucking he had a match or something, and it was him and Adam like on the ramp going back into the back with their tag titles, and Joe was coming down to the ring and he like fucking shoved MJF again like he did in NXT.
Yes.
And then he was like, and then Adam Cole was like, wait, don't do it. And he literally just ran and started beating the shit out of him.
That's when they were the Ring of Honor champions and they had to fight like during one of the pre-shows. I remember that. That was pretty fucking. That was great.
So anything realistically that involved Joe, anything that involved him and CM Punk, like, you know, obviously the WWE jabs with, you know, obviously between John Cena and Triple H, the pipe bomb was obviously something I have to, you know, obviously give my flowers to, because that really, like I said, that birthed a star that night, like a real star, because he left for a while and then came back months later with the bag. So like I just, you know, that like set us on the catapult and the stories that we got going forward. So I have to. It's weird how much pipe bombs really do further people's careers, because it furthered CM Punk's and it definitely furthered MJF's, and we're currently witnessing it.
So I do have a couple of like favorite segments that I really enjoyed. One of them, it goes all the way back to Daly's Place back in 2020 during the whole pandemic. MJF was doing a whole campaign thing for the AEW World Title. And man, I really enjoyed those segments. I thought that they were great. Like he was yelling at like the freaking girl there, just like smiling. He's like, you better keep that fucking smile on your face, and like insulting her. And then like Hook at the time was just an extra because he was still training to become a wrestler. And then they introduced Smart Mark Sterling, one of my buddies, one of my pals, and he got a huge opportunity by doing the whole campaign thing as like his lawyer. And then we got to see Jon Moxley kick Smart Mark's ass, which I thought was entertaining as fuck. So another few segments that I also really enjoyed throughout MJF's run in AEW has got to be the stuff that he did with Adam Cole as like the tag champs, as like best friends. I thought that they did a great job. I loved like the gym scene. I remember seeing this independent guy I used to watch, Puff. He was the big fat guy doing the weights, And then MJF just making the fat jokes to Adam Cole, and then Cole saying, like, that's not funny. And then, like, they did the whole dodgeball thing. They went in, like, they tried, like, friggin', like, spice, like, chicken and stuff. Like, all, like, the segments that they did with Adam Cole and MJF, I loved. Because it was just pure entertainment, and it was just a perfect build-up to their biggest show of all time being at Wembley with All In.
Yeah.
But, man, overall, like, the cool thing about MJF is, if you look back throughout his career, he's always been the same, which has been great, but he's just evolved throughout the years. And a lot of that has to do with how much he loves pro wrestling. He's a very old school mind. He likes to watch a lot of like the Smoky Mountain Wrestling, NWA, AWA, all like the really classic stuff. MJF's been a big fan of. And which is why I think Jim Cornette always has praised him on his podcast and stuff. And then he also did he did a couple cool things with MLW as well. That was like the first time I really started to pay attention to them, which nowadays MLW, they're bringing in guys like Cruel, who we get to see at Blitzkrieg. And there's also a lot of talented people in the Northeast that are getting opportunities. And MJF was one of them that really kind of took off with MLW. Yeah. But man, MJF, man, I feel like at some point we're going to need to do like a part 2 years from now, because
you got to do an episode based solely on him like we did with Cena and fucking Randy.
We might have to do an extra at some point because, man, there's so much to cover. But now, just our final overview on MJF.
What a career, and it's just started. Like, it's nuts to think that dude is only 27 and hasn't even hit his prime yet, and he's already had 5-star matches, banger fucking moments that are going to last forever, Mania-sized moments, mind you. And I can't tell you how excited I am for him to have his Mania moment one day, because he will.
Definitely, and you guys all know I think MJF is the greatest of all time. He's my favorite current professional wrestler. Just overall, I love what he's doing, and I think that he is a generational talent. And I think when he does leave AEW years from now and goes to WWE, he's going to be main eventing WrestleManias, and he is going to be a megastar in this business. I think that he's only getting started, and what he's done for AEW has been so entertaining. And I feel like without MJF, AEW would not be the ratings. There's 700,000 people still watching AEW Dynamite because of MJF. I think if MJF wasn't there, you can knock that down to 500,000 easily. And Wembley Stadium, they filled up 80,000 seats because of MJF. Well, 70 fucking something thousand. I don't fucking know. I don't care.
Ospreay's dumbass would know. He's got tattooed on him.
Tattoo. But with MJF, like, the fact that I literally watched him on a baseball field, to seeing him perform in front of 70,000 people, I am so proud of him. He is everybody's favorite scumbag, and I still wish him nothing but the absolute best. And honestly, I can't wait until November, the big event in New York, because MJF and Best One Donnie, we meet again. Don't know what I'm going to do, but we're going to do something. But this week, we put over MJF, which I think the only thing missing on this statue is a Burberry scarf. But that's okay. We'll get him next time. So, with that being said, let's get into the main event topic for the We Are Wrestling Podcast episode 112. And this week's main event, everybody's talking about it. The one and only Ricochet is set to leave WWE. And I know we talked about it a little bit. We did sprinkle some thoughts in our comment of the week segment. But now this is the main event topic. We just got to leave it all out here. Ben, what's your thoughts on Ricochet leaving?
Honestly, good for him, man. You know, like I want to see him succeed elsewhere because I think he is one of the most talented individuals that WWE has. But like I said, you know, with the shift and the changing of times, like what they're focusing on, the product that they're going with, sometimes you just don't fit the mold of that change, and that's okay. In his case, he's gonna be fine. Whether it's he hits the indies for a little bit, which I think would benefit him hellaciously, and he'll make a shit ton of money, then go to Japan, sign a deal, go to AEW here and there during the Forbidden Door events, or even just, here and there like they do already because they're pretty laxed. Either or, I think he's going to be fine. He'll be able to showcase his full potential. He's going to get the main character energy he deserves. It's just a shame that it couldn't have been in the pinnacle of, sports entertainment that it could have happened. But if this was years ago, there could have been a chance. But right now, at this very moment, WWE has outgrown Ricochet, and Ricochet has outgrown WWE.
I absolutely have to agree with everything you just said there. And timing is everything in pro wrestling. And I think Ricochet, he's done everything he could in WWE. And it's unfortunate because he is very talented. Even like with Black and Gold NXT, a lot of people thought that just the presentation, let alone, he was set for big things. Future main eventer for WrestleMania, maybe a future WWE champion. And it's unfortunate that things didn't work out the way they did. He's such a talented individual. And I think regardless whether or not he goes to AEW, he goes back to New Japan, or he just does the independent circuit, I think that he is going to be very successful because he's good at what he does. And I think AEW realistically is going to be the destination for him. And I feel like it's not going to be one of those former WWE guys that's misused. Because with Ricochet, the difference between him and a guy like Miro is more of a storyteller. He more relies on his character work to get over. He's very good in the ring. I'm not discrediting him, but Ricochet, he relies on the skills that he has in that ring. He's a human highlight reel. So like for Ricochet, man, AEW, that's what they're all about, is the professional wrestling, the dream matches, the hardcore wrestling fans, and just putting on 5-star classics, especially with AEW, with how great their pay-per-views are, the matches. Ricochet, I feel like, is just Tony Khan's wet dream. I think that this is a great move for him. And I think especially having that connection and relationship with Will Ospreay, I think is really going to help him as well. Because obviously Ospreay hasn't got lost in the shuffle yet, which I don't think he's going to get lost. He's in a very good position right now. But man, Ricochet, it's unfortunate that it's not WWE because like one of the things that I got so mad about, which I don't know if you got mad or anybody else has gotten mad about, I miss his original theme song back in NXT with CFO, One and Only.
I'm not gonna touch that because I am a person that welcomes change, especially when it comes to their theme songs. I'm one of the percent.
I know you are Def Rebel's biggest fan.
No, I'm just musically open. I'm just musically open.
Which is why Ben's almost at 10,000 subscribers over on his Rage Circus channel. So if you guys like music, go subscribe.
It is very music based, all right, and I go to chill and jam, all right.
I was just putting your channel over.
You don't got to give me a pity plug, bitch.
That's going to cost you $5.
God damn it.
Also,
I'm going to slip myself out now. Oh.
But also, too, like, one thing I do want to talk about is the interview that recently happened with Tony Khan with Scott Fisherman of TV Insider. Basically, like, he asked about, like, what's your thoughts on Ricochet as a talent? And Tony Khan went on to pretty much say he'd rather not get into Ricochet because he still works for WWE, which I really have to give Tony Khan credit where it's due, because when it comes to, like, free agency with wrestlers, like, obviously there's always going to be temptation. You're always going to want to, like, try to lure somebody into doing something. Happens all the time in, like, basketball and football, which sometimes they end up getting fines for that. But the fact that Tony Khan's not going out and pretty much saying, like, Ricochet, like, please come, we'll use you, this and that. I respect that Tony Khan is just waiting until the contract is up. And if Tony Khan can take this approach with everything, AEW would be in a way better position than they are right now.
Well, your good boy Tony is also trying to be on his best behavior after that Harvey Weinstein comment. So, I mean, he's got to have good publicity.
Yeah, or else Bryan Danielson's going to give him a big fine.
Bitch, Bryan Danielson's a bitch too. All right, I don't want to hear none of that shit. He hasn't fined his own boss yet for his tirade. All right, so I'm sorry, but fucking, he's a cocksucker too. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't.
Great wrestler, horrible at being the boss.
That's what I'm fucking saying. Like, dude, you put out this whole thing just to not do it. Like, why? Because it's your boss.
Oh man. So now I do want to ask you too, because a lot of people are talking about her as well. Ricochet's fiance, Samantha Irvin. Do you see her leaving WWE?
You see, my brain is saying fucking no. Like, why would you give up Samantha Irvin just because her husband's leaving? Like, we've had times where people have been split up before and it's been fine. Now, I don't know why she would have a thing if he leaves, she leaves too. I feel like that'd be dumb. But at the same time, I feel like the way they shot it, there's some foreshadowing there. Like, he left, so now she got up and left too. Like, when have they ever made that a focal point? Like, why would they? They've never made that a focal point.
Well, I think they're trying to make the segment that happened this past Monday on Raw seem real, because obviously everybody know, like, if you follow their personal lives, like, Ricochet and Samantha Irvin are together. Even Logan Paul's feud with Ricochet, Logan even mentioned how the two are together and pretty much went on to insulting her and stuff. I think she was just there to make it seem more serious and more real. Because think about it, would it make sense? But here's the thing, would it make sense for Samantha to just sit there doing her ring announcing when Ricochet is literally broken in half?
Yeah, no, I got you. But you know how it is. You got to say something.
Yeah, of course. And I think Samantha Irvin's not going anywhere.
No.
I think she is a huge part of this new era.
She's getting the bag
WWE,
right now, bro.
And she's definitely getting the bag. And obviously, she knows how valuable she is right now. And I think she's really going on to having a very legendary announcing run. And I think that she's
the next Lillian.
I think years from now, people are going to be putting her in their top fives for greatest of all time as ring announcer.
She's a Hall of Famer, bro. She's a Hall of Famer in the making.
I agree. And I don't think she's going to leave because Ricochet's leaving. Hey, she's going to be getting that WWE bag. Ricochet's about to go get that Tony Khan bag. So they're going to be definitely sleeping well at night with doing that.
Yeah.
But just overall, as a Ricochet fan, I'm very excited to see where this goes, because obviously anything can happen in pro wrestling. And I really do want to see what can AEW do with Ricochet that WWE hasn't. I will say this though. I don't see Ricochet being a ratings mover. I think that we already said this a while ago. The only way that AEW will ever get close to WWE is if they get literally a Becky Lynch or a Seth Rollins, which is not.
Oh God, yeah, no, they're WWE for life. There's no.
But
way
with Ricochet, for me, as long as he's happy doing what he loves, that's all I care about at the end of the day. And I think, man, AEW, New Japan, wherever it is, I can't wait to see what he does. I just hope that he does some conventions and I can get the opportunity to meet him, because it would be an honor.
That'd be fucking sweet, dude. 100%.
But Ben, is there anything else before we close off this week's episode?
No, I think we covered it all. It was a good one, man.
I think so as well. Which, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the topics that we covered this week on the We Are Wrestling podcast. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're listening to the podcast over on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you're listening, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. And give us a follow. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel, you can watch the episodes for free. And you can get the best pro wrestling content on YouTube. Highly recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button. Now turn on the post notifications. Ben and I, we are consistent with new episodes of the podcast every single week. If I'm out, Ben will make sure it comes out. If Ben's out, I'll do the same thing, vice versa. But links down in the description below. You can go follow myself and Ben over on our social medias and other YouTube pages. All that down below. Ben, he does music reactions and gaming streams now. And myself, I'm doing toy videos, which I will be back pretty soon. Just enjoying this little vacation. But also, too, tomorrow on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel or Facebook page, we will be doing a live watch-along for WWE Clash at the Castle. So if you're looking for somebody to watch the PLE with, we'll be live. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.